Welcome to our channel, Crime Loom, the place where true crime stories come alive. Born on October 4, 1968, in the quiet English village of Corby Glen, Beverley Allitt seemed like an ordinary child. But behind her calm smile lay something much darker. As a teenager, she craved attention, often faking illnesses and visiting doctors for injuries she never had. That obsession with hospitals grew into a career. In 1991, Beverley became a nurse at Grantham and Hospital, caring for sick children on Ward 4. But soon, children began collapsing, always during her shifts. 4 would die. 9 more were left fighting for their lives. Investigators discovered she had been secretly injecting patients with insulin and air, causing fatal cardiac arrests. She was convicted in 1993 of 4 murders and 9 other attacks, earning her the name, the Angel of Death. Today, Beverley Allitt remains locked away in Rampton Secure Hospital, one of Britain's most notorious medical killers. In the quiet town of Grantham, Lincolnshire, England, a young nurse was trusted to care for the most vulnerable, sick children. But behind her gentle smile and nurse's uniform hid something far darker. Between February and April of 1991, 13 children under her care suddenly collapsed. 4 never made it out alive. This is the chilling true story of Beverley Allitt, the nurse who became known as the Angel of Death. Beverley Allitt was born on October 4, 1968, in the small English village of Corby Glen. From a young age, she seemed ordinary, the middle child in a working-class family. But those who knew her said something always seemed off. As a teenager, Beverley became known for constantly seeking attention. She would fake illnesses, wear unnecessary bandages, and even visit doctors for injuries she never had. Friends began to notice a disturbing pattern. She enjoyed being the center of medical attention. At school, she wasn't particularly bright or popular, and her classmates often found her behavior strange. Still, no one could have imagined that her fascination with sickness would one day turn deadly. After leaving school, Beverley decided to become a nurse, the perfect career for someone obsessed with hospitals. She trained at Grantham and Hospital, where she was described as both caring and oddly secretive. She frequently called in sick and exaggerated minor ailments. Yet somehow she completed her training and was hired to work on Ward 4, the children's ward. Her new role gave her access to what she craved most: sympathy, attention, and control over life and death. Ward 4 was a friendly, cheerful environment before Beverley arrived. Nurses cared for babies and young children recovering from everyday illnesses. Nothing out of the ordinary. But within days of Beverley starting her shift, tragedy struck February 21, 1991. 7-month-old Liam Taylor was admitted with a mild chest infection. Under Allitt's care, his condition suddenly deteriorated. His breathing stopped, alarms sounded, and doctors rushed to save him, but it was too late. Liam died in his mother's arms. Staff believed it was a tragic medical failure. But no one suspected Beverley. Only 2 weeks later, 11-year-old Timothy Hardwick, a boy with cerebral palsy, was admitted after a minor seizure. While Beverley was alone with him, Timothy suffered cardiac arrest and died. Again, it was written off as natural causes, but the coincidences didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, children on Ward 4 began collapsing, often only when Allitt was present. March 5th. 1-year-old Kaylee Desmond suffered sudden respiratory failure, but survived after being transferred to another hospital. Doctors were puzzled. Kaylee had been recovering before the attack. March 20th. 15-month-old Paul Crampton had multiple unexplained episodes of hypoglycemia, dangerously low blood sugar. Tests later showed insulin in his system. Even though he was not diabetic, it was a terrifying realization. Someone was injecting insulin into healthy children. Yet even after these incidents, management failed to investigate properly. Allitt continued working her shifts, calm and confident. By April, the ward had become a place of fear. Nurses whispered that something was wrong. Too many collapses, too many coincidences. April 1st. 5-month-old Claire Peck was admitted with asthma. After a short recovery, she was left alone with Allitt. Moments later, she went into cardiac arrest. Despite resuscitation efforts, Claire died. An autopsy revealed air bubbles in her bloodstream, evidence of a deliberate injection. Claire Peck was Beverley Allitt's final victim. In just 59 days, 13 children had mysteriously collapsed. 4 were dead, and 9 were left with severe brain or physical damage. The hospital finally called the police. Detectives from Lincolnshire Police began reviewing medical charts, nurse schedules, and patient files. The pattern was undeniable. Every incident had occurred during Allitt's shifts, and in many cases, she was the only nurse present. Forensic testing confirmed that several children had insulin or potassium levels far beyond what could occur naturally. Investigators also discovered missing medical supplies and inconsistent nursing notes, all linked to Allitt. When questioned, she denied everything. She appeared calm, sometimes tearful, insisting she only wanted to help. But doctors and detectives were convinced this was no accident. In November 1991, Beverley Allitt was formally charged with 4 counts of murder, 3 of attempted murder, and 6 counts of grievous bodily harm. Allitt's trial began in February 1993 at Nottingham Crown Court. Prosecutors called her an evil nurse who exploited her position to harm the children she was supposed to protect. Psychiatrists diagnosed her with Munchausen syndrome by proxy, now called factitious disorder imposed on another. It's a mental illness where someone deliberately causes harm to others to gain attention, sympathy, or praise. The defense claimed she was mentally ill and unfit for a standard prison. The jury agreed that she was responsible but mentally disturbed. Allitt was sentenced to 13 life sentences, 1 for each victim, and ordered to be detained indefinitely at Rampton Secure Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility. The case sent shockwaves through the United Kingdom. Hospitals across the country reviewed pediatric ward procedures, staff vetting, and medical record security. Parents demanded answers. How could so many children die under one nurse's care before anyone noticed? The Clothier Inquiry, held in 1994, criticized hospital management for ignoring warning signs and failing to protect patients. Meanwhile, the surviving victims and their families faced lifelong trauma. Some children were left brain-damaged or disabled due to the insulin overdoses. Today, Beverley Allitt remains at Rampton Hospital, where she has been for more than 3 decades. Reports claim she shows little remorse and continues to receive psychiatric treatment. Occasionally, the media covers her case, usually when parole or transfer is discussed. But each request has been denied. Beverley Allitt will likely spend the rest of her life behind secure hospital walls. Beverley Allitt's crimes shattered the illusion of safety in hospitals, places meant for healing, not harm. She exploited trust, compassion, and innocence, turning them into tools for cruelty. Even today, her name stands as one of the most chilling in British criminal history. Subscribe to Crime Loom, and join us as we unravel more heists, mysteries, and untold legends.